titiri GPR to da to di achirim se esan se fa ngobo ekofam na dollar no so ekofam na ne ma budu bi esesa ni ntino ahyenkafo obi bia yete so ohamu chemudu no 50% na yebisa so motumi aye no motumi nyaye a adenti no motumi enyeye yebidi hu komo ena nadwe
ena ebekwa kopiem o Accra High Court munyina nimsem dada se anka ne panyi a ono ena na da National Signals Bureau oman no nsem bi abona ene ogina court a oka ho asem na ene asem no kopie court no pia panyi o tedwam akasa achim se papa yi so wo se opese opachew efa no oma na watimi anasa oman de abono na jese asem no abantemu afọ panyi e de abedan court ama court who dey also account ansa na obibi kura watimi aye
ensemi ka ho ene ede bram sa kasebo akenka fo yeme eja kwabena nene
kwame owusu ediomi
Africa sebo no emu nsam nie yema pani His Excellency John Dramani Mohammed atudwe akiremu se de wiase abrabo sitie no fapem papa akwada na benya awo ne kwala abiri mu no ena ma manya ye pani person se babo na ka to se cha kwala ne kwan yonfa so na so nyini a wo mfiri ho na so bi sidan so a age sedan na wo sie no se aborosan a eso tumi ye foundation ni na pillars ebesi so se na be dan ye to so menu miensa betumi agina so no oburuni be se esese ye solid eye pillar hoden bom se na be ya ebetumi ekura dan no na nkwankudwire ngu saa na wiase kasam na oman biase kasam hyehyeye esitie na no kire se na ban betu saa namon no na namon betu no ene se omo betoto neema se de be beboa ama oman si kasam fapem no ebegina ebenya hoden a wo kine bi se koba se ebia wiase mansa ho bi bampo a oman ga ne yenkwa ho kire mu se de bia bia besenko no yesiko mu na saa hyehyɛ ombe ye ne bi ene se yendi sika fufu keke esanse sika na benti da bi yebekura na yede ahwedaache sanso ena adwadi a yedie no so no say o man yimu o ye ne amanonefo na edie o ebe adwadi mu beda ho fan na gidie so ebe wo mu na fe eno achi kura so no se yede sika kwakọ wura bibi mu a yede be wura na ebenye so emfaso na mu enkonkọ ese ebe yede sika be kokọ wura ba bi na be wiase no ebe ye ka se oba ne kuna hye ne dwa no ni modwadie.
We'll continue the discipline in government expenditure and borrowing and work to achieve all targets under the Extended Credit Fund with a program with the IMF. We expect to conclude the fourth review of the IMF program in June 2025 with a target to exit at the end of the program in 2026. And thereafter, we'll participate in Article 4 consultations and adopt the policy support instrument framework, signaling Ghana's return to responsible, non-borrowing engagement with the fund. And the second is reopening domestic and international capital markets. We're working to reopen Ghana's bond market in collaboration with the IMF and our development partners, the Ghana Stock Exchange and local banks. However, future borrowing will be linked to self-financing commercially viable projects, particularly by MDAs, MMDAs, and SOEs, ensuring value for money and sustainable repayment. The third is strengthening sovereign funds and local government financing. We'll amend the Public Financial Management Act and Constitution to make contributions to the sinking and stabilization funds mandatory. It will not be optional. So a certain percentage of funds must be committed to the sinking and stabilization funds. We also intend to empower MMDAs to issue infrastructure and municipal bonds secured against a portion of their district assemblies common fund to fund infrastructure projects such as roads, schools, water systems, and local industry in the districts. And the fourth is clearing verified arrears and rationalizing public investment. The Auditor General is completing an audit of arrears and commitments, government commitments, and we expect to receive his report by the end of May. We'll then commence to clear legitimate arrears transparently and enforce commitment controls through the gift mix and the IPSAS-based accounting systems. New projects will be prioritized based on need, funding availability, and alignment with our national interest. And the fifth is accelerating public financial management reforms, and we have started that already. We amended the PFMA to include fiscal responsibility clauses. We'll reactivate stalled reforms, including the Treasury Single Account TSA, the Integrated Tax Administration System, and real-time budget monitoring tools to improve efficiency, reduce waste, and to curb corruption. And the sixth is revitalizing exports through Ghana Exim Bank. The Ghana Exim Bank will be repositioned to support non-traditional exports and agro-processing, light manufacturing, and SMEs, enhancing foreign exchange inflows and creating jobs in the real economy. Our Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda will also roll out massive investments in oil palm, in cocoa, cashew, shea, and other high-value tree crops. With two of our major export commodities, gold and cocoa, enjoying a good run in international markets, we will build our reserves and buffers to create the resilience to withstand any future global shocks. And then the seventh is building Ghana into a regional hub for trade and investment. We envision Ghana as West Africa's commercial, transport, and digital services hub. Our reset will prioritize port expansion, financial services, health, education, and industrial corridors, linking Ghanaian business to the African Continental Free Trade Area and beyond. And then 8 is resuming infrastructure development to stimulate growth. Infrastructure investment is not optional. We'll resume priority projects in the roads, energy, water, housing, and urban renewal sectors, not through reckless borrowing, but through innovative financing systems like the Big Push, PPPs, and other strategic partnerships.
Wasa dwumadiri ase na Ghana Mampanyi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama editu dwa se oman Ghana ye ya ahoboa se de be ya betimi eyi ho afri IMF dwumadie ni mu na ekwan ya betimi afaso eyi ho ne se obehwe na Ghana esikasem yetimi atutu de ye se de besi edi esika ene se de ebesi di esikasem afa no sa ne oman nyina na betimi aboa ama Ghana se yi ho free IMF dwumadie ni mu a yentimi ensign fa ye ho enkohyem biem.
Let us be honest with ourselves. A true reset must begin by learning from what worked and what was recklessly abandoned. And so the first thing to look at is, how do we lead a reset for the future, a path to recovery and resilience? Distinguished participants, despite these challenges, I remain optimistic. Ghana has what it takes to recover, not by repeating the past mistakes, but by learning from it and innovating for the future. We'll continue the discipline in government expenditure and borrowing and work to achieve all targets under the Extended Credit Fund with a program with the IMF. We expect to conclude the 4th review of the IMF program in June 2025 with a target to exit at the end of the program in 2026. And thereafter, we'll participate in Article 4 consultations and adopt the policy support instrument framework, signaling Ghana's return to responsible, non-borrowing engagement with the fund.
Enhyem bia koso ewo enkraha na sede tie no afi bia empanyefo atumi ate adwuma ayefro CEOs mpanifo atete adwuma ano ye bo maba so se asemese ayewe wotumi ayewe nti ye hwe omu nyina na ya bo maba so na ye to so nkono akoso na adwumadie na se na pani a wada Bank of Ghana no Dr. Johnson esiama da to dwa kire se bi no keka se na Ghana sade ye sidi no hwe dollar no enkosi aga enche bia besen hwira kosoro eno achi America ene China for ntokwanti adwadie ntokwanti na mana koba saa ensam de ebebre na se de binum kan no kra no wo mo ye se de be ya amanfo beje aban no atum no ma aban ne fans wo bra sa fans no mo ma na nyina so bia na so Dr. Johnson esiama de atudwa kire mu se enye sa na tie aban ne hye pa wo ye sikasam tutu tutu ni yie bebi ese de to na de ato de ye ni wo bra nsese ye die enne ma tetete saa no eka ho bi na aboa mama sikasɛm atumi agina na ɔkyerɛ sɛ wei enye se bi eda kora de pa bi na mo yɛ da bi ɛyɛ bere a o ma hyehyɛ de ato a bɛkyɛ yie pa so mo to so yɛ sɛ do mo yɛ no a ebi no kura ka sɛ ɔman yi yɛ sika ɛwa amanɔne a yɛ amanɔne sika a emu odu a yɛ de asie fɔkyena bi ɛna ebi a yɛ de yɛ bibi ɛte saa wɔ sɛ ɛnya no kora da na wɔhyɛ gana fo nyina bɔ sɛ sɛ do ma sikasɛm ɛkeka kɔ no saa ɛna bɛkɔ.
The latest confidence surveys have showed significant improvement in consumer and business indices. And we know that this is the highest in the last 7 years, mainly based on easing inflationary pressures and optimism about macroeconomic conditions. Colleagues, as you are aware, headline inflation has declined steadily over the past 4 months, reaching 21.2% in April, down by 2.6 percentage points since the beginning of the year. Our gross international reserves have improved to about 11 billion US dollars, which is equivalent to 4.2 months of import cover. And the cedi, our cedi, has appreciated by 24.1% against the US dollar on year-to-date terms. Now, colleagues, let me emphasize that the central bank is not, and the not is in capital letters. The central bank is not using its international reserves to support the cedi, nor are we engineering an appreciation in the cedi that will not be sustainable. It's all market-driven, and the strengthening of the currency reflects a blend of disciplined monetary policy, tailored foreign forex auction reforms, enhanced remittance channels, and stricter market surveillance. These are not mere short-term interventions. Colleagues, last week, the Monetary Policy Committee met. They met and voted unanimously to maintain the policy rate at 28%. This decision reflects our commitment to completing the disinflation process, with inflation now projected to return to our target band of 8 plus or minus 2% by the first quarter of 2026.
Yeto akase wonu sa na ekopiem ewo Accra High Court eho ena enkane panyi kwantrefo ano no na da National Signals Bureau ye de na kugina oman no edinasem esan kretahyɛ ene proyebi a oman ne susu se afa ne nsase abra no panyi kwantrefo a odasa adwumako ya no ne abra mu kopie court Accra High Court no PM panyi na otena adwam Justice John Eugene Nyanten Nyadu de atodwa se se papa asem no afi na bobo wade ya ban temu afọ panyi ede ne nsem ebedan court na impo se aban temu afọ panyi ede ne nsem ebedan court we na papa yi bibi broni kasem ne friend plea bargain na che se nsem na aban de anase aban temu afọ panyi ede abono no so ho chaw pa bi na mpo opeso opa na sika oman ni susu se afa ne nsase no opeso otu akra ni nyina betimi ayi this aban temu afọ panyi ede nsem a aban ede abono eketa sensem omudi ni nyina bedan court do no ankasa yama ne nkrata ne bi amana hwem ansana sansusu ya nimpo so wa watimi ede abeto court nanim.
In the case management process, yeah, it's a variable. So he's thinking elastic, but we've not made any overtures relating to plea bargaining. It's out of the way for one measure. And we keep saying that people do not understand, and I don't want to do a media trial. That this case has national security ramifications. At the moment, it's very innocent by the terms of the Constitution, and to prove otherwise. But what is happening now, I'm afraid people don't understand. It's deeper than what is being presented. I don't know who leaked it, but I could tell an authority that I will never leak such a letter. but it has implications and ramifications. Anybody who read the letter will come to his own conclusions. There are serious matters that should not be part for public consumption, and we don't need that.
Has the national...
No, they've not. And I'm sure in good time, if they want to approach us on some matters or invite us, we'll go.
Thank you very much.
Enkramantam soafoɔ owura yere unonyamfoɔ Linda ɔhenewa akwele oklu ene bambo ginatuku a ɛwɔ nkramantam ha etwanamo bi ene sɛ afro bebi ansisi esi adan krofo sisi adan ukosa kumona ebi wɔ hɔ ebi wɔ tema ebi wɔ klagon ene me ahodoɔ no abase nso to a nso ntumi nkɔta hɔ ma ne nyɛ yɛ bio isansa nkofo sisi adan ne ne mahodo wo nti wo se fikyina ekɔ no wonne bambofo ekobubu ho nyina ediagu.
The issue of flooding continues to affect lives and property during the rainy season. To address this, we must decongest waterways, enforce planning regulations, and deseal drains regularly. This requires a coordinated and sustained effort, especially among the 17 MMDAs under the Garrett project. Decisively and ensure we implement long-term solutions rather than reactivate interventions. In the coming days, we will be embarking a demolition exercise, which is starting tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are visiting Tema, Sakumono, Klagon, that enclave. And then we'll also come to Medina Adenta.
We'll be embarking on these demolition exercises across the country, not only in Accra, but we are starting from here. In terms of preparedness, we activated our contingency plan way back in February. That was on the 13th of February, if I remember. It's just because you were not in office, that's why probably you didn't get the information. But places where we could work with the regional ministers, we started work. As we speak, dredging is ongoing in Kumasi, seriously. And so we are starting here tomorrow. We entreat every one of you to cooperate. Chairman, please don't just sit for us to come and work. Also organize yourselves, so that by the time we get to your place, you may have also done some mobilization to support the work. And so it will be in every municipality or district that we come to work. Do your personal mobilization and get people ready to support us. After Tema tomorrow, if we're able to finish what we want to do, we'll move to Medina and to Adenta and to Ga East before we descend to Wedagbawe and Kole Klote.
Penyabedeche Dada, His Excellency John Mahmoud Baumia, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia, and they onam Eba Pro. Thank you to Onamun onam. Na sama waka ene say 2024 about 20 day NDC nya dey say omuwi ni ye. Nemum omo ani gina mu ema NDC amonyoko no.
NDC ne John Mahama ne vote no. And so it was pretty much the same vote at NDC nya 2020. And in Onya 2024. Just 100,000 difference. But it was virtually the same across for NDC. But problem na ewo hono ewo yaya MPP vote. Because of share MPP vote no, we had a decline in our vote, about 4 by 2.1 million relative to 2020. It is a nipa 2.1 million akotoaba. Now Osha John Mahama Odi Kunim with 1.7 million votes. 1.7 million. ɛkyerɛ sɛ anka yɛayɛ nipa 2.1 million no anka ɔmobɛto aba no ɔmabɛto aba no ama yɛn
a awie yɛnyina wesue na yɛnkɔgye abɔfo nkrato yɛba a adenti na 50% yɛte so nom so monte so meka ayɛ ahyentuadeɛ yɛne wɔ mopɛnifo bɛdi nkɔmmɔ no bisa sɛ ɛkame yɛ sɛ wɔn nyɛ serious ntumu deɛ wɔn gye tum nante so dɛ wɔn nyɛ ntumu a yɛba na wo a wofie so brɛ ba mu a yɛno bɛdi ho nkɔmmɔ montwɛn yɛn